We started the 12th day of our trip with a visit to the most interesting site of Pompeii, which was destroyed by Mount Vesuvius volcano in 79 AD. We started here at this meeting point next to one of the theaters. The roofs were all designed so that they could collect water into a central basin. This is a small theater which seats a couple thousand people. These streets had crosswalk areas, and you could see the old Roman chariot wheels that had made grooves in the pavement. You could really get a good idea of the lifestyle of the people that lived at that time. This area was sort of a restaurant where people could stop by and get some food. The streets were of varying sizes so that you could tell that some were a lot more trafficked than others. An important part of life at that time was gathering at the bathhouse. They were segregated by gender. The women were on the other side. This was the men's side. And you could just imagine people sitting around in the cooler rooms or in the warmer steam rooms, or being in the warm bath. They must have been a really beautiful place.
The floor is suspended and like a ductwork for the circulation of the hot air.
They even had these legalized brothels in the city. These fountains were important landmarks that helped people to know where they were. It was very interesting to me to see that they had running water that went into the homes via these lead pipes. I was also surprised by the fact that some of the houses had second stories. You could also see beautiful mosaics on the floors. This was a large house with a large entryway and these back rooms. These ceilings were open in the center with roofs that were cantered to allow water to go into these pools in the center of the house.
You know, look, if you look, you can make a cycle.
This house was pretty close to the seashore, but after Pompeii was covered by at least 20 feet of hot ash, the coastline actually moved out many feet. Forum was the center of government, but also an important place where people would meet and trade goods. Not only did they have temples to the various Roman gods in these areas, they also had places where one could purchase grain and other commodities. There's also a museum there, which is filled with some artwork, mostly frescoes, some sculpture, and some remains of the humans which perished in the volcanic eruption. The ash that covered their bodies was filled with plaster by the archaeologist who uncovered them to make these casts. We had a nice lunch stop after the visit to Pompeii.
Smoked salmon. We have a wide variety of food, elegant and not elegant in the least. Pequeno.
Right.
was really nice to have a small and intimate group of 28 people to enjoy this trip with. The next morning we got dropped off at the airport in Rome. Our first leg of the trip took us to Munich. Our layover in Munich was only 55 minutes, and the flight out of Rome was delayed by about 15 minutes, giving us only a half an hour to make our connection. So once again, our luggage didn't make it. It was a pretty tiring journey. We got home about 24 hours after breakfast. We were still missing 6 pieces of luggage. But we were glad that we made it home and got reunited with our families here in Springfield.